Getty Images. Ian Waldie. StaffThe. BBC's 94-year history of broadcasting means it has a wealth of old material in its archives. The vast majority of this is stored in the BBC archive. Now, a huge chunk of that vintage television gold has been put on iPlayer. The corporation has added 450 shows to a new section of its catch-up and streaming service. The From the Archive section features shows dating back to 1946 right up to the last few years. It will feature footage which hasn't been shown since first broadcast, including collections such as the Great War Interviews, a series of interviews with World War I veterans and civilians filmed in the 1960s, the BBC said in a statement. Inside Star Trek Discovery's mission to bring hope back to TV, we've trawled through the shows available and picked out some of the best. If there aren't any that take your fancy, we've also got a rundown of the best documentaries on Netflix, YouTube and more. Tomorrow's World. BBC has relaunched a version of Tomorrow's World with Stephen Hawking and Brian Cox, but nothing beats the original. First broadcast in 2015, this compilation looks back at the best bits from the show's history. It features Europe's first home computer system, a moving office desk and auto secretary, a system to automate the world of work. Fargo and 24 of the best TV series on Netflix UK. Concorde. Like Tomorrow's World, Supersonic Flight is making a comeback. However, the original Concorde is one plane that won't be flying again. This 1994 documentary looks at the historic airliner's past and speculates what may happen in the new millennium. BBC Micro. In 2016, the BBC reinvented the micro in the form of the credit card-sized microbit. This 1983 broadcast focuses on the original device that taught thousands of children the fundamentals of coding. Face-to-face. During the 1950s and 1960s, BBC journalist and former politician John Freeman interviewed some of the world's biggest names. Here he interviews Martin Luther King. Elsewhere in the probing face-offs are interviews with Evelyn Waugh, Lord Reith and Bertrand Russell. Louis Theroux's Weird Weekends. Doesn't love a bit of classic Louis Theroux? The BBC has re-released the Gonzo filmmaker's Weird Weekends, a series where Theroux journeys through the oddities of U.S. culture, meeting pornographers, swingers, and UFO hunters. It's Theroux at his finest. Meet the Red Devils. This footage is all that remains of the program that was first transmitted in 1960, the BBC explains. The show reveals the training exercises completed by the Red Devils, the British Army's parachute display team. They were first formed during the 1960s, and their training at the time involved a series of complex exercises completed in an unknown woods.